This mantra, Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibhiriditam Kalmashapaham Sravana Mangalam Srimadatatam Bhubi Grinanti E Bhurida Janaha. Today, as you see, is the holy birth tithi of Swami Premananda ji. He is one of the direct disciples of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. He was not a Brahmin. This is the speciality. Usually people used to say, traditionally, that one should born in a higher caste family, otherwise they won't realize God. And that was wrong, completely wrong. That's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he chose from the family who were not, the boys who were not Brahmins. When this boy came, young boy, with his mother, she was very, very devoted. And she wanted to serve Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, and she told, "Can I give you something?" You know what he asked? "I'll be very happy if you give your son to me." And look at the mother. Immediately she agreed. "It will be a blessing for me if you really accept him." And this young man came, started staying with Sri Ramakrishna, and of course frequenting, slowly got associated with other young people. They formed a small group. And afterwards, when they took the sannyasa, they promised, they were very rich people, this Swami Premananda. If you ever go, you can see still that family, those buildings are there, huge property. They were the landlords, and the buildings is, the huge buildings that they gave to Ramakrishna Mission. And most of the time, these young boys, after the passing away of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, they were not getting any food and shelter, and any opportunity, they used to go to Premananda's mother, and she used to cook very nicely, as to feed them, and they used to have wonderful time. There was a big pond, they used to have swimming and all that. Most of them were below 24. So obviously you can understand. One day, there, the mother fed all these young boys so nicely. It was night. Then suddenly, Narendranath, the leader of the group, told, "See, today we have eaten so much. And naturally the mind is going to the body. Whole night we will meditate. Who will come?" Everybody raised their hands, and all they came outside the room. They lighted a fire, sat around that, and they started meditating. Whole night passed. And suddenly, as if inspired by the divine force, that young Narendranath stood up and started telling about the wonderful life of Jesus Christ. How the Jesus of Nazareth, he gave his life for the love of humanity. How he went out and practiced and then realized God and then came back and started distributing that wonderful knowledge to those people. He was going on telling about it, and each and every one became very much inspired. Afterwards, they were not aware. Next day, they came to know that was the Christmas Eve, 24th December night. So they promised that we will also renounce like Jesus. We will also give our heart's blood for the service of the humanity, all these young people. And if you go to that particular place, even today, there's a mural is there. In that mural, they have depicted wonderfully. They're all young people standing, surrounding the fire, taking the oath. And that was the first time they took the oath to renounce the hearth and home, to become sannyasi, to become the monk, and they became monk. So all these stories, then afterwards, slowly, Vivekananda got some money. And the two American ladies, they gave him some money. With that, he purchased a plot of land on the bank of Ganga. Belur Math came up, and he became the first manager of the Belur Math. New boys were coming. They were being initiated into the sannyasa, and he was looking after them, Premananda. Swamiji gave his name Premananda. Why? Because Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna used to say, this boy is pure to the bone. And when Sri Ramakrishna used to go in samadhi, he asked, you should not touch me except that Premananda, Baburam. The Baburam was pure, and Sri Ramakrishna sometime told that he is the embodiment of Radha. That is why so much purity. So Baburam Maharaj used to serve Sri Ramakrishna. Afterwards he became the manager, and he used to go and look after all these young people who were coming, guiding them. But one thing we in his life we find the love for all people. He never went out afterwards. Long afterwards he used to go to and he had the wonderful capacity to draw people. That's why Swamiji told, hey, Baburam, you should not give initiation. If you give initiation, the people will not come to the Rakhal, that is Brahmananda. Brahmananda ji used to, in his own way, he never talked with people and like that. Who will go to him? The Baburam was attraction. He was so attractive looking also, very handsome. So people used to go to him and they used to love him, and in particularly East Bengal, he had a very big followers. The Swamiji told, you can go to visit there, but no initiation. They should come and take initiation from our Rakhal. So that was the way. He never gave, and very few, but he used to do like that. One incident I can remember, he was in Puri, and someone from the Christian cult, and he was standing at the gate of the Jagannath, and he was criticizing Jagannath, very abusive languages he was using. And after offering his respect, Swami Premananda was coming out. When he heard those words about the Jagannath, it was impossible for him to restrain. He didn't go to fight, but he started singing the name of the Lord, name of the Hari, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to do. And his divine attraction and the way he was singing, dancing alone, clapping the hands, all people came to him, gathered together. Within a minute, there was a huge crowd and all singing, dancing. Then that gentleman became very much afraid and he left. And Premanandaji was very happy that I could drive him out. Then afterwards, all people were happy. Oh, we have driven him out. And now, the night when he was sleeping, Sri Ramakrishna appeared and said, why you insulted that man? He was also talking about me. If anybody is talking about the Jesus, he is talking about me. Shouldn't you know that I belong to each and every one? Then he was saying, oh, I'm sorry. So that is Ramakrishna mission. One of our Swamiji, he wrote an article, and there he could, because we were in Cherrapunji, I can tell that name, Shantarupanandaji. He wrote an article, and there, in an indirect way, he criticized the Christians. Our Diden, president of the order, he went through that, and he called him and scolded him And from now onwards, 5 years, you should not write anything. And if you write, that should not be published. So that was the punishment. So that is the broad outlook. Why? That you will read over here today, the realization of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, all pervading. The Samannaya Acharya. He was the Samannaya Acharya. He was the master of all that came from different sides, different road, different faith, different religions. This is Sri Ramakrishna, and this Baburam Maharaj, this Premananda ji, he used to stand by the side of the Ganga and to see that the boat, by boat, the people, in those days that was the only transport. So they used to go by boat to Calcutta, and then he will be calling them, hey, you must be very hungry, why don't you come, take some food, then go to the market. They were not known, but he was in that way. And then he won't say anything to anyone, particularly the juniors. He will go and he will light the fire, and again he will start cooking. Naturally, the younger brahmacharis and novices, what they will do? They used to come and say and then help him, and they used to grumble, Swami, why you are inviting all those people? They don't know us. They don't have any idea about the Sri Ramakrishna. Unnecessarily, you are inviting them. He said, it is not unnecessary. A little bit of prasada that you cook over here, offer mentally to God and give to anyone, devotion is going to grow. I'm spreading the seeds of devotion to all these people. Day will come when Belur Math will be crowded like anything. And today, it is true, it has become so big. If you go to our headquarters, Ramakrishna Mission, Belur Math, is so big and vast. Even then, any function, minimum 2 to 3 lakhs people, 200, 300,000 people will be there. And that is the contribution of Swami Premananda. And we will read from today how Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is also explaining, giving his own original realizations. He is telling, it is my nature to believe that my mother knows everything. Friends, I will ask you to be attentive to these words. One line, he is telling, I am the son of my mother. Mother knows everything. Next line, he is telling the big Jnani condition. Not only Jnani, big Jnani condition. Here he is telling, it is my nature to believe that my mother knows everything. It was she who would speak at Rajendra Mitra's house. Rajendra Mitra was very, very rich person and educated person. All people assembled over there. Sri Ramakrishna, who never attended any school and not knowing how to speak, and they were expecting Sri Ramakrishna to speak over there. He was going on talking to Mother. I am not going to talk, you should talk. The dependence on the Divine Mother, and hearts are the only effective words. Then he mentioned, one ray of light from the goddess of wisdom stuns 1,000 scholars. And that really happened. Whatever Sri Ramakrishna told, that was accepted by hundreds of people. The scholars, they could not deny that. Rather, they used to say, we have only read and you have realized those truths. All of them. So that is, the mother has kept me in the state of a bhakta. Look at it. He is telling, in the same line, the mother has kept me in the state of a bhakta, then comma, a Vijnani. Now those who are studying the Vedanta, they will say, oh, it is contradictory. A Jnani or Vijnani and Bhakta, they are all different, they cannot be the same. But Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is telling, the Vijnani who has understood everything, but Mother has kept me in the condition of a bhakta, a devotee who always feel Mother is all. This is a beautiful way he is actually giving the instruction of one new system of God realization. That is called Santana Bhava, the attitude of a child, attitude of a son. Now we know that traditionally, as we were the other day, we mentioned, traditionally the Hindus, they have utilized all the different modes that the human being is having for the realization of God. Because for the Hindus, God realization is the goal. So obviously, so they have mentioned Shanta, a philosophical mode, there'll be all the time judging and that way. And then Dasya, the serving the Lord as best possible way. Vatsalya, the affection of the mother, love of the mother for our own child. Then Sakhya, a friendly way, talking with the God, considering God his own friend. Madhura, feeling, thinking that God is my lover, beloved. And that attachment, as both the lovers are having between each other. And finally, Sri Ramakrishna, there were 5 traditionally. Here we find Sri Ramakrishna adding one more attitude, that is attitude of a son towards the parents. And this is most apt for the modern age. Why? Whatever the bhava, whatever the mood that you are adopting towards the God, you have to try. But the Santana Bhava, the attitude of a son, attitude of a child towards the father and mother, no try, only one thing, faith. My mother is there, she will take care of me. My father is there, he will surely take care of me. The tremendous faith in the existence of God, and also the conviction, 100% conviction, that God is my father, God is my mother, and God is going to take care of me. Everything, every way. That is the new introduction of Sri Ramakrishna for this spiritual path. And he is telling in this way, faith in God, self-negation, and at the same time, it comes same-sightedness. That is the ultimate thing, it comes. Now Sri Ramakrishna was telling this, that this one, the mother has kept me in such a way, a bhakta and a vijnani. That is why I joke with Rakhal and others. Had I been the condition of a jnani, I couldn't do that. Now here is the condition of a jnani and vijnani, then the bhakta, the purna jnana. The jnani means he understood that knowledge. And he is all the time going on remembering that knowledge, keeping that knowledge in his mind. And he is aware, conscious every moment, not to forget that. That is the condition of the jnani. And vijnani is one who knows each and everything. I saw one gentleman, he came to give the lecture and he had some small notes, and before the meeting he was going on reading on those things. And then others are talking, but he's not listening to that. He is so attentively reading his own, because he understood that unless I am having those things in my hand and it is in my mind, I won't be able to speak. So that is called jnani. He is a knowledgeable person, he knows, but at the same time he is not having complete confidence, so he wanted to. But those who knows everything, that subject, they have mastered on that, it has become so easy for them, natural and normal for them, so they just go on talking, like Sri Ramakrishna. He is not remembering anything from any scripture, but he knows the truth, so he is telling the truth. So he says, vijnani. Afterwards, it is in this state I realize that it is the mother alone who has become everything. In what stage? Vijnani stage. And there, those who have realized, those who have reached to that Vijnani stage, then they know that it is God who has become everything. I see her everywhere. In the Kali temple, I found that Mother herself had become everything. Even the wicked, even the brother of Bhagavat Pandit. That means recently someone visited, his brother was also, we do not know why suddenly he is referring, maybe that the gentleman was not that way devoted person. But even then, Sri Ramakrishna saw it is the same mother who has become everything. And Sri Ramakrishna, this is called Shamadarshitva. You see, one cannot exclude even a wicked person. That is Hinduism. The Hinduism cannot exclude anyone. This is the ultimate of Hindu knowledge, and that is called Vedanta. The Samadarshitva. You know that famous story? That one lady who wanted to sing, Swamiji refused to attain that program. Then she started singing that famous song of the Surdas, Prabhu mere abaguna chitana dhara. Oh my Lord, you should not look at the faults. Samadarshi hai naam tihara, because your name is same-sightedness. Immediately Swamiji learned that was a teaching. Swamiji learned that, Samadarshitva. Here also we find in different scripture, it speaks about that. God is one. Ekam eva advityam. Those are the students of Vedanta, we all know about it. Again and again, the same one line, the dictum is coming. Ekam, one, eva, only, advityam, there is no two. Ekam eva advityam, only one, and there is no two. To give the emphasis, the moment you say one, it is sufficient. But to give the emphasis that it is not only one, it is one, and no two, and you know that we have already discussed about that there are differences. So, he says, Ekam eva advityam in the Veda. In the Chandi, the great path of the Hindus, they are also, the mother, she is telling, Ekaibaham maya atra dvitiya kamaya mama para. Where are the two? The great Ashura, the very forceful person, but he was not able to fight with the mother. The mother out of herself coming out with so many different forms. As the Ashura came with a big the soldiers group, and they were all fighting, ferocious soldiers. When they were fighting, so many of them, with only one lady, they never thought she is only one and why we should fight so many. But when she herself became many, then the Ashura told, this is not the law of the war, that one should fight with one, and why you are so many? At that time in Chandi, the great mother, the divine mother, she commented like this, Ekai ba aham atra maya atra. Me, I am only one. Here, dvitiya kamama para. Dvitiya, double, two, or more than me, more than one. Where did you find? In the Chandi, in the Veda, always indication it is one. Then if it is one, where from all this came? The same God, same power. We have discussed it again and again in the Sunday discourses, that the same God is becoming in different form. And philosophers, they are differentiating because of the explanation. But we know everything is one. And we find in the Ishatmananda, I am quoting is because Sri Ramakrishna casually said that, and sometimes people who are reading the gospel, oh, that it is his realization. No. It is his feeling. No. It is the realization authenticated by the Veda, Upanishad. The Hindu never accepts anything unless it is authenticated by the Veda. So that here we find in the Upanishad it says, Yastu sarvani bhutani atmannevanupashyati sarvo bhuteshu cha atmanam tatu na vijugupshate. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna told that you cannot deny even a wicked person. And in the Isha Upanishad, one of the famous Upanishad, a part of the Veda, it says, Yastu sarvani bhutani, he who sees all beings in the self. Yastu, he who, sarvani bhutani, all beings, atman eva anupashyati. Anupashyati means sees, in atman, at the same time, sarva bhuteshu cha atmanam, and they are within the atman, and within them also atman. If one realizes in that way, then he feels no hatred. How can he? So that is called ahimsa. The great word ahimsa that has been used again and again in our scripture, particularly the Buddhists, they propagated this ahimsa. Ahimsa paramo dharma. Paramo means highest. Dharma means righteousness. This is the greatest, the path of religion. What? Ahimsa. But what is ahimsa? This is the definition of ahimsa we find in the Isha Upanishad, and it says on the 6th verse of the Isha Upanishad says, one who sees that Atman within everyone, and again, everyone within that Atman, that means without that Atman, nothing remains. So that is called that ahimsa. He can never hate. Now there are, about that 24th December is approaching, so naturally people are decorating their houses with the beautiful, the lights and all, so many varieties of lights we have also decorated outside, and naturally it is wonderful. But all the lights, different color, different shape, different way they are burning, some are blinking, some are just giving the light. Are they different? Yes, they are. Then again if you ask, are they truly different? No, because all of them are having the same electricity. The same way we can say that all these people that you see, all the beings that you see, all different. Of course, name and form are different. But again, they are not, because in every being there are consciousness, and that is the most precious part of that being. The body and the activity and the outlook, everything are different, but that is not important. Important thing is that consciousness. If the consciousness is not present in a most beautiful body, nobody will go and look at that beautiful body. Why? That is the consciousness. That is the most valuable thing. So they say that if you see all beings in the self, a self is that consciousness. Manu, the lawgiver of the Hindus, he is also telling, Sarva bhuteshu cha atmanam. Sarva bhutani cha atmani. Samam pashyan atmajaji. Swarajya adhigacchati. In the same way, here he used the word Swarajya. Swarajya means moksha, liberation. He gets the liberation who sees sarva bhuteshu, in every being, atmanam. And then all being in the atma, same way as the Upanishad is telling, same teaching. Samam pashyan, he sees the same sighted one. The moment you become same sighted, friends, you must be remembering 2-3 pages before, when we were reading, someone was singing, Trailakya was singing, and the word came, Samadarshitva. The moment that word came, Sri Ramakrishna went into ecstasy, into samadhi. And from that stage he was coming down and he was uttering Samadarshitva, Samadarshitva. Same-sightedness, same-sightedness. It is very, very difficult. If you have noticed that the prayer that usually the Ramakrishnites they sing, the followers of Sri Ramakrishna, that was composed by Swami Vivekananda, and there also it says, Tyaji Jati Kula Man. Tyaji, giving up. Jati, the races. Kula, your own family lineages. Man, all your ego. All these things you have to give up if you want to realize this. Sometimes some of our devotees, some of our even the monks, they make mistakes. And that is a great, great mistake. The moment you are going on thinking, that is why one monk should not remember their pre-monastic life. If constantly people are reminding them the pre-monastic life, it's very difficult to come out of that. And they will immediately that if you are a rich man's son, or highly educated, or you are having the certificate of very famous university, apparently you may say, oh no, no, nothing, I have given up, but inside you feel comfortable to tell people, I am from this university. And all others will immediately, with big eyes, will look at, oh my God, he is from this university? He was so intelligent, and see, he has given up what he has given up? He has not given up the basic thing, that is his ego. So the person who is telling that, he has not understood, and those who are appreciating, they have also not understood. The basic thing for God realization is this: you have to forget, particularly those who are 100% sincere and dedicated to realize God. This is the basic thing. And that's why in the moment you get the sannyasa, they change the name and the lineage. You forget the name of your father and mother. Of course, forget means not in that way, but at the same time, your whole lineage goes to these three. So that is the way we have to understand. Otherwise, Swarajya, Moksha, it is impossible. Majority of our people, they study the Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, 29, 30 and 31 verses. All are speaking about this. Mohanirvan Tantra is a completely different. We have quoted from the Upanishad. And now from the Tantra, Mohanirvan Tantra is a famous book of the Tantra. It says, Sarvam Brahmani Sarvatra Brahmaiva Paripashyati Gya Saeva. Now he is using the word Sat Kaulo. Sat Kaula, and that is they call the Kaula. That means highest stage of the Tantra sadhana. Sat Kaula, highest stage of Tantra sadhana, and not only that, he is using the word of the Vedanta, Jivana Mukta, na samshaya. There is no doubt when one sees the Brahman everywhere. There was a great soul, and he used to live almost in a cremation ground, Bama Kappa. And Kappa means people, they used to think, how one person can live in that place where the people are burned all the time and dirty, smell. How can he be there? This Bama Kappa, he was a great soul. And some of the stories about his life, they say, when a lady and her husband has gone, the Bama Kappa, it was very difficult for him to find out who is a man and a woman, the lady or a gentleman. No differentiation in his eyes. He could not find that differentiation. It was all same. As the mothers, that has become this and that. No differentiation, samadarshitva. That is called the Bhamakapa. He was also the follower of Tantra. And that same Tantra, when it reaches to this same-sightedness, is they gave the title, the Koula, and here called Sat Koula, highest standard. And also we find in the Manu, Swarajya, that means the moksha. And Upanishad it says that you are the Samadarshi. So these everywhere we find the same type of knowledge which realized and propagated by Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna is telling Samadarshi. So you see, one cannot exclude even a wicked person. That is called Samadarsitva. Then afterwards, Trailakya Sannal, he was a very good singer. He was going on singing, and some of the songs Ramakrishna liked very much. And after hearing one song, he is telling, addressing Trailakya, how touching your songs are. They are genuine. Only he who has gone to the ocean can fetch its water. How touchy it is. They can go and fetch its water. When someone is chanting, it's not easy, because with those words, the Sanskrit or whatever language it may be, when actual emotion, dedication is mingled with those words, and of course realization, which this word mean, all the hearers all around, they will feel it. They will feel that type of emotion. Otherwise, entertainment, so many people are singing, so many people are chanting, hundreds of CDs and cassettes are available, and with the wonderful background music, people are singing, all are there, mostly entertainment. But when Sri Ramakrishna used to sing, Vivekananda used to sing, that was completely different. And Sri Ramakrishna is telling a story of a gentleman. He used to just sing when he used to go on repeating the mantra, Gayatri mantra. When he used to repeat the Gayatri mantra without any sound, people could see that whole body, his own body is completely transformed. All the hairs on the body is standing on end. And when he used to do that in a loudly, anyone around, whoever heard, immediately got that transformation. That is called the power of word, power of the pure word. The one is going on repeating the name of God, taking the name of God constantly, consciously. I am taking the name of God, and surely whole personality will be transformed. Surely it will transform, and it will take the form of that God. Sri Ramakrishna, if the Trailakya is a blessed one, just through song he has reached that. Only he who has gone to the ocean, he is telling. That means you must have felt. Otherwise, how could you bring that type of feeling through the words? Can fetch it water. The singing came to an end. The master engaged in conversation with the devotees. Master. God alone is the master, and again, he is the servant. When we read the gospel, then I was suggesting some people read the gospel. Oh, we have completed. What next book? So it is not like that. You have to go every word very carefully. First you read complete, second time, third time. The more you are reading, the more deeper meaning is coming out. One of our great Swamiji was a great scholar in Sanskrit. And when he joined the order, Swami Vivekananda said, it is an achievement. Ma Sharadamani Devi, she told, it is just like the, what's called that elephant tusk, ivory, and that is also decorated with very costly jewelries. It's like that. It's not only ivory itself is costly. And again, it is decorated with, so that was the Swami who became afterwards president. And one of our Swamiji, young Swami, he was very fond of reading scriptures. And he took mantra diksha from him and opted to serve him. And then he noticed that the Swami is not reading any scriptural book except this gospel. So one day, it was impossible for him to, why this Swami is reading only this gospel? Then he told, you are a great scholar, but I don't find that you are reading the Upanishads or anything. Why you are reading the gospel? Then he said, if there is any differences between the Upanishad and the gospel, I will accept gospel. Upanishad may make mistake, but gospel will never make any mistake. And the more and more you are realizing, you are practicing meditation, taking the name of God, your mind is becoming pure, mind is becoming subtle to understand the subtlest thing. It's not just you go and read. The mind should be purified. Then only it will be easy for you to understand the subtle thing. So Sri Ramakrishna, he is telling God alone is the master, and again he is the servant. So whatever he was telling just before, the same continuation in a different way he is mentioning. The servant and the master are the same. How? Because in everyone, both servant and the master are having the consciousness. That is, this attitude indicates perfect knowledge. This perfect knowledge, the other day we were discussing about, after the realization, is it not the same knowledge that dawns to everyone? No. Because it is all different. How you understand, how much deeper you have gone, that also depends on that. So Brahmavid, Bariyan, Brahmavid, Barishta, all these type of stages are there. So all of them, they have realized Brahman. But at the same time, depth of that, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, the master and the servant are the same. When this type of knowledge comes, then it's called perfect knowledge. At first, one discriminate, not this, not this. This is the path of the Vedanta. If you have to realize the Brahman, then you have to negate the world. Neti, neti, not this, not this. That is the path of Vedanta. Negation, negation, and then you reach to the goal. In the beginning, it is all right. Then it says, and feels that God alone is real and all else is illusory. Afterwards, the same person finds that it is God himself who has become all these, the universe, Maya, and the living being. First negation and then affirmation. The bill of fruit, for instance, includes flesh, seeds, and shell. You get the flesh by discarding the shell and the seeds. But if you want to know the weight of the fruit, you cannot find it if you discard the shell and the seeds. If you like to know the whole of the creation, then you have to take both. This is the speciality of Sri Ramakrishna. First of all, reach the indivisible Satchidananda. And then coming down, look at the universe. This is Samannaya Vedanta. We know that in the Vedanta school there are 6 schools are there. And always the people say it is Kevala Advaita, only the pure Advaita. That's the school of Shankaracharya. And that school again is in the higher stage. I think in the coming Sunday we will discuss about that. Gaudapada, his view, Ajatavada. Na jata iti ajata. It is not born, it is not there. That is the highest form of Vedanta, and we'll be discussing about that. But Sri Ramakrishna, Samannaya Vedanta. This Samannaya Vedanta, he takes everything. It's not Ramanuja, but again it is not Shankara or Gaudapada. So this Samannaya is a really completely spatial. That's why Swami Vivekananda, who was staunch against this, and Sri Ramakrishna used to ask him, why don't you read a little from this book? No, this book only says about that I am God, and that is blasphemy. I am not going to read that book. The sinful words are there. Sri Ramakrishna told that you are not reading for yourself, you are only reading for me. I can't read, you just read. And I like to listen to that. Adhyatma Ramayana, that's the highest Vedantic book. And just because Sri Ramakrishna is asking the young Naren, he used to read, and while reading, the thoughts used to enter into him. And afterwards, by the touch of his Guru, he realized that each and everything is nothing but the consciousness. You know those stories in their lives. So this Sri Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, they lived and propagated Samannaya Vedanta. Everything is nothing but the same God. You cannot say no to anyone. First you reach the Satchidananda by negation. Then come down and see the universe. It is very much there. But in what form? Satchidananda, he has become that. You will then find that everything in its manifestation, it is God alone who has become everything. The world by no means exists apart from him. On the basis of this knowledge, Swami Vivekananda, very plain language, he said, each soul is potentially divine. Each soul. He never said only Hindu, he never said only Brahmin, he never said only those who have learned this, nothing. Each soul is potentially divine. And the goal is to manifest this. Then here, this is called after realization, you come down and you are living in this world, but just think of it. You are only seeing God everywhere, enjoying the divine play of God, and different mood, different form, different name, same God. You know him, and that way you are enjoying. That is called Jivana Mukta, the liberated while living. Shankaracharya is giving the stress on that, liberated while living. There's another, the school is there, who says, no problem, you can go ahead, slowly you will be liberated. Krama Mukti, Krama, and by stages, you will be Mukta. And you have got the human body, you have got a good guide, a teacher, and then you have practiced, your mind is to some extent purified. Okay, next time, further, another better, like this you go. Ultimately you will be the God or goddesses, and then from there you will be Mukta, you will be liberated. Shankaracharya said, no, here it's so. Upanishad also stresses like that. Yached abedit, ata satyamasti. Nached iha abedit mahati vinasti. Here and now you must realize. If you cannot do that, then it's a great loss. And what to realize? One among many. That's why the first time when Sri Ramakrishna having the dialogue with the Master Mahasaya, he was asking him, what do you think about your wife? Is she Jnani or Ajnani? Master Mahasaya could not understand that question, and he said, no, she is good, but Ajnani. Not understanding what is Jnana and Ajnana, he said, oh, Ajnani. Immediately Sri Ramakrishna rebuked him and said, and you think you are a Jnani? Master Mahasaya was taken aback, and what I am going to, because I have learned everything. In those days, the MA, the master degree from the university, that was the highest, the educational certificate that you could get. And he was an MA. But Sri Ramakrishna said, to know one is jnana, and to think that there are many is ajnana. The jnana and ajnana, knowledge and ignorance. Here he is telling all elements finally merge in akasha. And again, at the time of creation, akasha evolves into mahat. And from the mahat into ahamkara. And in this way, the whole world system is evolved. It is the process of evolution and involution. A devotee of God accepts everything. He accepts the universe and its created being, as well as indivisible Satchidananda. But the yogi paths are different. He does not come back after reaching the Paramatma, the supreme goal. He becomes united with it. The yogi are totally different. Their mental, the status is somehow withdraw the mind from the objects and reach to the goal. After reaching the goal, there is nothing for them, the yogis, by which they can come down. All of these nasty things we don't want. So by that way, Sri Ramakrishna, he is telling, yogis cannot do that. The partial knower limits God to one object only. He is not telling the ignorant people. He is telling partial knower. And you can remember Swami Vivekananda said, man travels from lower truth to higher truth. So where from he learned all this? From Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna is telling partial knower. He has understood God in this, only in this form. If you go to any people and they will say this is the only thing, and they form a cult, either surrounding one person or one ideology or one God, they'll say this is the only thing. All the fights that is going on in the name of religion because of this narrowness, partial knowledge. They have not understood the complete. This partial limits the God to one object only. He thinks that God exists in anything beyond. They cannot think about that. That it is God can be somewhere else also. Why not? There are three classes of devotees. Now Sri Ramakrishna is classifying. The lowest one says God is up there. All the time they'll be looking at the sky. God is up there. That is, he points to the heaven. The mediocre devotee says that God dwells in the hearts of inner controller. He lives as the inner controller. And the highest devotee says, God alone has become everything. So he is a jnani. He is the knowledge that it dawned, but at the same time, he is a devotee. Why? If you read that definition of bhakti by Shandilya or by Narada, the knowledge. And Shankara is also telling what is bhakti? The bhakti or devotion is to find out in totally your own self. But the highest devotee says God alone has become everything. All that we perceive is so many forms of God. Then he is mentioning Narendra. There was a young boy who used to come and Sri Ramakrishna used to tell, see, all things are nothing but God. Sri Ramakrishna, respected person, Narendra didn't say anything, but he used to go and talk with other people. Look at that man, what he says. He says everything is God. And sometimes he used to say, all these things that has become God, this pot has become God, and that glass has become God, and everything is God, and he used to laugh. Remembering that, Sri Ramakrishna is also laughing. All doubts disappear when one sees God. This is the realization of Sri Ramakrishna. It is one thing to hear of God, but quite a different thing to see Him. A man cannot have 100% conviction through mere hearing. But if he beholds God face to face, then he is wholly convinced. And here we find in the famous Kathopanishad, Vidyate Hridaya Granthi, Chidyante Sarva Samshayaha, Shiyante Chasya Karmani, Tashmin Drishte Para Avare. The one which is everywhere, if you realize that, and there will be no doubt, nothing will be there. So that is the realization. So we find in this, and formal worship drops away after the vision of God. It is certainly that revealed to me, Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning. Those who have read the biography of Swami Vivekananda, you know that how he used to worship Sri Ramakrishna. His brother disciples, they used to worship with all the natural way. They have the mantras and system. Vivekananda used to go and meditate, and he will take all the flowers together and give it to Thakur. And all the foods, and he will offer to Thakur. That's all. But he will meditate for 2-3 hours before doing that. And then he becomes Sri Ramakrishna himself and offering that food. That is Vivekananda way of worshipping. When we were young, and we mostly from Advaita Ashrama, there was no training of puja. Then in the training center, you must have to learn the basic puja. When they used to ask our teachers, hey, you have to do that, then we used to tell them, we will do it in the way of Swamiji, Swamiji's puja. The Swamiji's puja you can do, but before that 3 hours meditation, do that. After 3 hours meditation, then only you can offer the only flower. If not, then do as it is. So like that only. So Vivekananda, he is transforming, and we know that how Ma Saradamani Devi was so particular. She also used to cook food and then offer to God any place. Even one day when she cooked her food in an earthen pot that broke, and most of the rice that was cooked fell on the mud, and from the top she was collecting and telling, oh, what to do? I cannot cook again. See, all the boys are very hungry, all are tired. Now if I again go for cooking, it will be too late. Today somehow you manage it. And that she offered to Thakur, can you imagine? And that, if you feel that Thakur you own, you can say like that. So Sri Ramakrishna, he became, and he's giving the teaching, and we feel and we see the application of all those in the life of Swamiji and Mother. It was suddenly revealed to me that everything is pure spirit, Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning. Suddenly revealed to me. The utensils of worship, the altar, the door frame, all pure spirit. Men, animals, and other living beings, all pure spirit. This is the highest stage of realization, and that is called not jnana, big jnana. The Sri Ramakrishna is the big jnani. Friends, today we'll stop here, and I think this is the last class of this session, because from the December, January, February, I think from March also, from the office you will see, and we will send out a notice. This particular Tuesday and Friday classes will be suspended because of the cold, people cannot come, etc. Last time December, it was snowing very early, so the December came. Some people are telling you can continue in the December, but it's better to have a one type of system. So 4 months, so we'll be free. No gospel class, but Sunday discourses will be there. And January, February maybe, these 2 months, Sunday also will be suspended. So thank you for coming. Let us chant these and offer our respect to Sri Ramakrishna. Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhrita Vigraham Vai Ishavattaram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namama. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.